everybody, hope you're well. It's been a long time since I showed my face on this channel. Have you missed me? Probably not, no. Before I get into this video, I have a couple of announcements, but I will try and get it done within the first minute. Let's go. So on February 11th, I have a new single coming out. It's my first ever official collab, and it's with my lovely friend Bronnie. We've done a cover of Celebrity Skin by the band Hole, which is one of our favorite songs of all time. But yes, it comes out February 11th, and there's a link down below to where you can pre-save. You can pre-save on either Deezer, Tidal, Apple Music, Spotify. Pre-saving is a free way of really helping an artist out, because it lets the streaming platforms know that people are excited to hear the song, so it can get playlisted and put in front of more people's eyeballs and their ears. It's really helpful, so if you can, please do pre-save down below. Speaking of Bronnie and I are going on tour together. She's supporting me on my Girl in a Box tour, which has been moved to June 2022. It was supposed to be next month, but as we know, we're still in the bad times. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys. I'll be playing old songs, new songs. It's gonna be fantastic. Songs you haven't heard before, because there's new music this year. I need to go get something. I'll be back in a minute. I have to go get something. I would like to see the baby. That is not what I was bringing. If you can't make it to tour, or if you just want to support me in other ways, then do I have the website for you. If you were thinking about collecting some physicals of my music, including this very beautiful deluxe version of my new album, Girl in a Box. These are limited edition, by the way, so do pick one up if you can. Look how bright this is. It's actually way brighter in real life than it is on camera. There's CD, there's vinyl, there's t-shirts, there's hoodies, there's everything you could possibly want with my name and face on it, which is really weird now I've said that out loud. Don't have a crisis. Right, okay, we're done. So back in September last year, I had this idea for a video where I would allow you guys to anonymously submit your opinions about my music, and I kind of backed out of the idea after setting up the form and everything. I think there was like an internal fear that a lot of people were going to be very mean. But let me tell you, looking at some of the things you guys submitted today, you have totally proven me wrong. In fact, there are so many of you being so nice that now I'm worried that people are going to think that I have submitted these myself. So I just want to say thank you to everyone that left their honest opinion. So many of you were so lovely. Some of you were giving honest feedback, but you weren't horrible, and I really appreciate that. Barely anybody took advantage of the anonymous form submission thing. So thank you for all being so lovely and proving once again that we have a very lovely corner of the internet. I really appreciate it. Now, I have tried to pick a fair representation of the bunch of opinions that I got. There were over like 550, which I did not expect. So let's see what people really think of Emma Blackery's music. I really think you have great potential with your music. I loved your early releases because my tastes are closer to Indian rock. I was not keen on your Villains record, and I definitely feel your voice and writing suits your new direction a lot more. Well, thank you so much. I will say time and time again over the course of this video that I am proud of everything that I've released. I have certainly gone through phases where I've been less proud of some things and a bit more dismissive of certain like songs and releases, but I am proud of everything because it's got me to where I am. And I still hold a lot of love for the Villains album, but knowing that my latest album, Girl in a Box, was something that I needed to make for myself, and that you guys enjoy it as much as I do, that means the world to me. I'm so glad that you're liking the sort of darker tone that it's taken. I'm definitely leaning towards more sort of rockier, heavier stuff in the future, just because that's where I'm at right now. That doesn't mean that I'll never release pop again. You know, it's all just really dependent on how I'm feeling and what I want to release. But thank you so much. You said you wish you hadn't made a single out of Agenda because it was too similar to Dirt, but Agenda is a much better song than Dirt. It's far superior. I respectfully completely disagree. I still think Dirt is one of the best songs I've ever written. Some of the lyrics haven't aged too well, I would say, but it's a really catchy song in my opinion. I'm really proud of it. We all know my feelings towards a music video, but yeah, I'm still really happy with that song. Agenda, not so much. I would say it's probably my least favourite on Villains right now, and it's been that way for quite some time as well. I was really proud of it when I wrote it, and I'm still really proud of it, but yeah, the hook kind of really grates on me now. Wolves is your worst song. I guess I'd have to respectfully disagree with your opinion. For me personally, I have a lot of attachment to that song, and it's one of my favorites that I've ever written. Without going into it again, I know I'm a broken fucking record and I'm very boring, but you know, 2019 was a really hard year for me for many reasons. And there was a time where I felt like, you know, melodramatic me, thought that everyone was against me pretty much. I had some things going on in my personal life that I wasn't expecting. I had this really horrible video made about me that was just full of really horrible, malicious stuff, and there were just tons of rumors, and I just really It really got to me real bad. But you know, before I finished that song, I was really beginning to feel like I just wanted to quit music. Just months after my debut album, I was just in a really, really bad place, and I needed wolves. I really, really did. And it shows me how far I've come and what I've overcome, and I just really love the sound of it. Agenda is your best song, though it seems you hate all your previous songs once you release new ones. I've already spoken about Agenda, but you know what? I do see where you're coming from, because I know that I used to be very critical of the release that came before whatever release I was talking about at the time. So if I'd released Magnetized, then I wasn't so kind to the Sucks Be You stuff. When I released Villains, I wasn't too kind to the Magnetized stuff. I have, you know what, the last couple of years of my life have been pretty humbling. I've got over myself a lot, believe it or not. And you know what? I'm just grateful that people enjoy the music that I've written, any of it, you know, even if it's just one song or every song. The fact that I'm able to put my feelings into like a 3-minute track and people listen to it and they enjoy it, it means the world to me. And like I said, I've really got over my problems with some of my older songs. Like The Promise was one that I had a real difficult time with. I've been very prone to self-sabotaging myself to the point where if something gets successful, I get annoyed that other things that I've done aren't as successful. It's a ridiculous mindset to have, but it's one that I haven't really been able to help before. But I have got better at just being proud of what I've done. And you know, when someone now says that they like a song, I don't go, really? I just say thank you, and I'm really grateful. I'm honestly so happy to see how much progress you've made with songwriting. When I listen to your music from the past few years, I feel like they're actual songs that the top musicians would write and produce. Well, thank you. I'm really glad that my songs are actual songs now. I certainly feel like I've got a lot better over the last few years with songwriting. There's still a few things that I want to get a lot better at, like producing my own demos to a higher quality. And I also want to work on my songwriting, which I'll talk about in a bit, because there's another question in here. But there's certain things I want to focus on, and also I'm looking at writing on piano a bit more now. You can definitely hear a different style of writing when you write a song on piano versus writing it on guitar. Like the way that, you know, a story can come across, the way that melodies are written. So getting better at piano, because I'm terrible at it, is something that I really want to work on this year, and hopefully we'll see some results from that. You never know. I feel like it took you a couple of tries to find your tone of music to sing. With Villains, I think that was more of an experimental album, and with Girl in a Box, that was the album where you felt it was more you. You know what? Villains was me at the time, definitely. I mean, you know, I was definitely trying new things. I'd just gone from Magnetized, which was very sort of stripped back and acoustic and orchestral, to this full-out like pop album. I wouldn't say it was necessarily experimental, but I would agree that I think the music I'm making now, whilst the album certainly has a ton of different themes and genres, it really reflects me a bit more, because I am all over the place as a person. I really, really am. I can't stick to one identity for more than 10 minutes, let alone like a whole album release. You know, I change everything a lot. That's just part of who I am, and I've just started to accept that now. You just don't know what you're gonna get next. Third Eye should have received a music video, and that's the end of that. Looking back, I agree. There is an alternate universe where the singles were Villains Part 1, Third Eye, and Burn the Witch. And that's a much better alternate universe than the one that we're in right now. Your music is not really my cup of tea. You're still badass though. I really like this one. This is what I picked this out because for the longest time I felt like me as a person as well as my music is very Marmite. You either love my music or you think it's the worst thing on the planet, or you really, really like me as a person, or I just really grate on you. But this just kind of shows that, you know, there are people out there who they like certain parts of what I do and not other parts, and that's you know, I think if everybody liked everything that you did, maybe you're not sort of pushing the boat out a little bit. I don't know. But I like this comment a lot because it's proof that, you know, you can just say it's not my thing without being mean. And it was just really nice to see, so thank you. Crying is probably one of the best songs you've ever done, and Strange People is absolutely one of your worst. It's really funny you should say that, because when I released the album and Strange People was near the end of it, people were listening as it came out, and the overwhelming amount of people that said that Strange People was their new favourite and it's their favourite song I've ever done. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me? I had doubts about whether it would even go on the album because it is so different to everything else I've ever done. It really was. We talk about me being experimental. Strange People was definitely me being experimental. I'm really proud of the song. I like it a lot, but I was very, very surprised by the amount of people that said that they really love it. So I will be playing that on tour. You have there's one confirmed song at least. Girl in a Box is an incredible album, like legit a favourite of mine already, but I think it was a bit strange to finish with The End of the Night. Why was it chosen as the closer? P.S. See you in Manchester, and for the viewers who are watching, get your tour tickets now. I agree. Get your tour tickets. Please get your tour tickets. Please, I wanna play to you. I wanna play music to you. It's gonna be fun, I promise. I know that End of the Night is like one of the happier pop songs on the album, and you might think it's a bit of a strange one to end that album on, but for me it makes a lot of sense because Girl in the Box itself is the whole album's sort of concept. The theme that ties it together is, I mean, it's about the feelings I've had over the last couple of years, of course, like I've spoken about before, yada yada yada, being in a bad place. But, you know, there were a lot of times over the last couple of years where I felt like I was used in some way. The whole title, Girl in a Box, is like someone can just pick me out of a box whenever they need something and then just put me back in, you know, when they're done. So the album really talks about these themes, especially like More For Me. That's one of the most personal songs I've ever written. It's one of my favourite songs I've ever written. But End of the Night is just this really happy, you know, this really happy song that doesn't have any sort of like, you know, oh, I'm so sad kind of themes to it. Because this album was my journey of coming out of these feelings. I needed to write Girl in a Box for myself. I know it sounds really pretentious, but I really needed to. I had a lot of unprocessed feelings, and End of the Night is just this, you know, realizing that there's a lot of love there. You know, the support I've had from my partner throughout so much stuff you wouldn't believe. You know, it's still there and it shines through, and no matter, he's seen me at my worst, my absolute worst. He's seen me at my most unhappy, and he's always been there to support me. And I wanted the end of the album to be like a sign off of like, right, this is the crap I've been through. This is how I felt about it. I was angry, and now I have this wonderful thing where I can just be myself, and he's there. He's always there. So, you know, it's hopefully it was just a nice sign off for me personally, and hopefully that makes sense. Sometimes I feel your lyrics are a bit ham-fisted, like they don't really fit with the rhythm of the melody. So this is the main thing that I want to work on with my songwriting, which is what I was speaking about before. One problem that I think I have with my songwriting, like the primary thing that I want to work on is that a lot of my music is too wordy. I feel like I have a lot to say and I want to cram it all into those 3 minutes, you know, and sometimes my verses go on and on and on to the point where, you know, I have to take like 3 or 4 breaths. You think that's surely a sign that you need to just be a bit more concise. And I think when you try and add so many words, you focus more on the message you're trying to put across than the melody of the song, whereas the two should work in tandem. So I do get your point, and I am trying to get better. I'm trying to improve, but still have my songs have this message that I want to put across, but just in a more concise way. As a guy who spends the majority of his time listening to all the more extreme types of metal, I have to say that you've created my favourite 2 pop albums of all time. Also, Villains Part 2 still hits me in the feels every time I listen to it, but causes my kitten to snooze every time he hears it, and I'm not sure what that says about cats. I know exactly what that says about cats. Cats like it when people suffer, and Villains Part 2 is very personal. It's about a lot of my mental things that go on in my daily life. So if I'm singing and screaming at the end of it about, you know, seeing things in black and white and, you know, all things borderline, essentially, the cats will be like, oh yeah, suffering, a human is sad. Genuinely not sure how you aren't more successful. It annoys me because you really are deserving of it. I'm laughing because now people are definitely going to think that I wrote that one myself, and I promise you I did not. I don't really know what to say to that other than I'm really happy with where I am as an artist, and I think the definition of success changes as you get older and you learn more about yourself and you become more comfortable with the way that you write. You know, when I was a kid I used to dream of, like, you know, selling out stadiums, and you know what, I've done my fair share of really successful stuff, like supporting Busted on their arena tours and having a top 40 album. You know, I've done these things that I never thought I'd be able to do. But honestly, right now, I'm fortunate enough to be able to make a living as a musician. I have a publishing deal, meaning that I can write songs for other artists. And, you know, I get to wake up every single day and live the life that I truly want to live without compromise. So to me, that is success now. And I'm really, really happy with everything that I've done. And I feel like I've been successful. I really appreciate what you're saying though, and that everyone's idea of success is very different, but I don't need to win Grammys to feel like I'm happy, you know. And finally, Don't Come Home is genuinely one of my favorite songs ever. Like, if a big artist released that, I'm sure it would have been a global smash. Maybe, but who's to say? You know, I guess you could say that about a lot of songs. You just don't know what's going to hit at what time. I mean, you don't even need to be a big artist for a song to take off, especially in this day and age where, you know, songs get huge just off of TikTok, and, you know, that's a hint, by the way. But, you know, it's interesting with Don't Come Home. When I originally wrote the demo for it, the stripped back piano one that a lot of people have heard, that's how I wanted the developed one to sound on the EP. I just wanted it to be like that, but with the strings, and just sound very, very big and orchestral. And when the producer of the EP came back with this idea of making it really fast-paced, I panicked. I was like, I don't like this. And it took quite a while for the idea to grow on me. I'm glad that it did, because I love it so much. But, you know, you just don't know what's gonna happen at what time. But hey, tell you what, here's a thought. Wouldn't it be nice if one day that original slow demo was available on streaming platforms and on something like vinyl? That'd be a nice thought. Imagine if Magnetize got another run on vinyl. Anyway, that's where I'm gonna leave this, because this video has gone on way longer than I thought it would. Thank you all so much for your opinions. I feel genuinely a bit more reassured that, you know what, not everyone's out to get me all of the time. It's something that I have a real issue with. You know, you guys really, really are lovely. So maybe I'll open the floor up to just submit your anonymous questions. Don't ruin it. Don't blow it for everybody. Okay, don't be weird if I do it. Please. Well, now I've asked, you're gonna. Thank you so much for watching. Tour tickets down below. My merch shop is down below. And there is more music to come this year. Not EP3. That's a long way off. Albums are exhausting. But there is more music in the works. It's on the way. I can't wait to share with you all the things I've had to keep from you over the last few months. Until next time, guys, stay well, and I shall catch you later. Look how beautiful she is. Not me, the vinyl.
Oh, she's so sad and moody.